Are you a current or future physician assistant wanting to learn more about finances? Then join me on this journey to become a PA the FI way. Hi, my name is Kat, and I'm a practicing certified physician assistant who will be your host. It took me 5 years after I started practicing medicine as a PA to thoroughly dive into my personal finances after I discovered the concept of financial independence. I want to use what I have learned to help you avoid some of the financial mistakes that I have made while sharing some of the financial wins that I have had along the way. Join me as we discuss financial strategies to guide you to becoming a physician assistant on the way to financial independence. Welcome back, everyone, to the PA the FI Way podcast. I'm your host, Kat, and thanks so much for joining me out of your busy day to learn more about personal finance on your way to financial independence. Both at the beginning of getting your finances in order, as well as throughout the years along your journey to financial independence, you are going to come across many different types of decisions that you need to make and actions that you need to take. In the last episode, which was episode 140, I talked a little bit about strategies to overcome analysis paralysis. So this episode builds off of that a little bit. And the topic that I will be talking about is the strategy to come over your greatest antagonists. And these two antagonists that will get in your way and prevent you from reaching your goals on the surface may look like that they don't relate to each other, but I will show you how they tend to relate to each other quite a bit and how overcoming them will help you reach your goals more quickly. And your two greatest antagonists on your journey to financial independence are perfectionism and procrastination, the two P's. Before we talk about strategies to overcoming them, let's talk about how they interconnect with each other. Under the surface of both of them is often a fear of failure. So many people, when they are just learning about personal finance or financial independence, they are often so afraid to actually start taking action because they are afraid of failing. Perfectionists can set unrealistically high standards for themselves, and if they don't meet those standards, then they feel paralyzed because they have the thought of not meeting them. They have the fear of not meeting them, so they don't even start. And procrastination then comes into play. The task to achieve perfection seems so daunting that they'll just avoid it and put it off so that they don't have to worry about fear of failure. You can't fail something that you don't even try, right? But that doesn't allow you to grow. The next way perfectionism and procrastination are interconnected is a fear of judgment. Perfectionists worry excessively about how others perceive them and their work, and they want their work and their actions to be flawless to avoid criticism. And so they procrastinate. They avoid the discomfort or potential criticism or judgment by delaying starting or completing the tasks. The next relation that perfectionism and procrastination have is overwhelm. The desire to achieve perfection and complete the tasks perfectly seems so overwhelming. And again, procrastination then comes into play, so they don't have to worry about the stress and the pressure. Next is all or nothing thinking. Perfectionists can think in extremes. So if something isn't completely perfect, if they don't do a task or reach their goal perfectly, then it's a complete failure. That simply is not true. You can have many wins and learn many lessons, even if overall the end result isn't perfect. And if a perfectionist is thinking in these extremes, again, it can lead to procrastination and not want to get started because the task feels pointless if the outcome won't be perfect. This can lead to difficulty starting a task, and it can lead to indecision. Again, if you haven't listened to episode 140, go back and take a listen to the last episode to learn about making decisions when you're stuck in analysis paralysis. Perfectionism and procrastination can lead to trying to over-prepare for the situation. For example, many who first learn about personal finance will feel like they need to read all the books or listen to all the podcasts or watch all the YouTube channels and feel overly prepared before they start taking action. Next, let's discuss ways where perfectionism and procrastination can creep into your personal finance, preventing you from reaching your financial goals. And then later, strategies to implement to overcome these blocks will be reviewed. The first way that procrastination and perfectionism can hinder your progress is with budgeting. Perfectionists might be trying to create the perfect budget or trying to plan for every possible outcome or scenario. This can be a way that eats up all of your time. They might procrastinate even implementing a budget or tracking their expenses, and then they can feel as though they're getting stuck and not even starting on their financial journey. The next area is investing, and this one is absolutely huge. The members that our team works with in our wealth building community for PAs really can struggle with wanting to take the first step to picking their investments or to opening their Roth IRA account. For example, you might struggle with trying to figure out what the perfect investment actually is. Which index fund should you pick? Should you pick an index fund or an ETF? Should you do total stock market index fund, or should you do S&P 500, or should you do total international market? Which brokerage company should I open my Roth IRA with? Which bank should I use for my high yield savings account for my emergency fund? Which is the perfect bank to use with the highest interest rate? If you're trying to achieve perfection in all of your finances, you will be stuck in analysis paralysis forever and not actually make progress towards your financial goals. You really just need to pick one, take the action, and move on with your life. That really is how wealth is built. It's not by sitting on the sidelines, researching all over the internet or on social media and not taking the action. Don't procrastinate and wait for the perfect time to buy into the market. There is no perfect time to buy investments. What really matters is the amount of time that your investments are allowed to compound over the years on your journey to financial independence. The next personal finance area where perfectionism and procrastination can lead to issues is debt management and debt payback. Let's consider your student loan debt or your other consumer debt, such as your car debt or credit card debt if you have some. A perfectionist might be procrastinating by researching, should they pay off their debt management? Should they pay off their total debt by doing the snowball method or the avalanche method? What is the best, most precise way to pay off my debt? Should I keep my loans on forbearance? Should I continue with the SAVE program? Should I pursue PSLF? Once again, you need to make a debt payoff plan and stick with it and implement it and get that debt paid off quickly and rapidly. Perfectionism and procrastination can even impact how you spend your money. For example, you might be tempted to spend an excessive amount of your precious time researching all the options, reading all of the reviews, and trying to figure out which item is really the best one to purchase. Or procrastination might creep in and you might be forced to pay for something last minute, which could lead to overspending because you missed the window to have the same item for much less. Now let's transition into strategies that you can implement starting today to fight back on your two antagonists that are preventing you from reaching your financial goals. The first strategy is to make sure that you are setting realistic financial goals. To help with perfectionism with this, instead of having flawless execution of your financial roadmap, figure out what your milestones are that are achievable and track them. Break down your overall goal of reaching financial independence into smaller and manageable steps for you. Examples could look like investing a certain amount of money per month, reducing your expenses by a certain percentage or certain dollar amount per month in a specific area where you're tending to overspend, or paying back your debt with a specific number per month. To help with procrastination, make sure that your goals are SMART, which is the acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. The next strategy you can implement is to automate your finances. I've talked about automating your finances on several episodes, but it can really help with perfectionism and procrastination because, again, it takes the decision-making process out of the action every single month or every single week or every single year, whatever time frame that you have set up for that financial decision. The next strategy is to embrace the good enough mindset. And this one's going to be hard for many of you, but remember that perfect really is the enemy of good. You want to have your finances optimized, but to the point where it's good enough, not perfect, because overall it's not going to move the needle that much. The next strategy is to prioritize and simplify. When you are deciding you're wanting to work on your finances, many of you want to tackle everything all at once. And although being ambitious is really great and what helps you take the action, it again can lead to that feeling of overwhelm, and then you can ultimately get stuck. Instead, prioritize the high impact actions, such as paying off high interest debt, getting your investments set up, getting your emergency fund fully funded, etc. And then work on simplifying your financial tasks, your financial accounts. If you have several 401ks, several HSAs open, you can consolidate them. If you have many types of investments, you can consolidate them into a simplified investment option. The next strategy is to limit the time on financial decisions. And this was talked about in the last episode with analysis paralysis. But if you have decisions that you need to make, it's important that you give yourself a deadline. Otherwise, you can just ruminate and think about it over and over and over again and not actually figure out what your plan is. The next step is to track your progress. Tracking your progress visually, whether it's through a spreadsheet, a tracker, the Empower app that helps you track your net worth, any of those options or a combination of those options helps you see how far you have come compared to where you're starting from. In those moments where you're feeling as though things aren't perfect or you don't know what steps to take, you can reflect back and see that you have been making progress and celebrate those wins along the journey to financial independence. The next strategy is to educate yourself without overloading yourself with too much information. For example, if you are considering getting involved in real estate investing with a long-term rental or short-term rental or syndications, you don't need to read all of the books or listen to all the podcasts before you take the step to decide which route you want to do and take the action to start the investments. The next strategy is to reframe your mindset overall. Instead of thinking that this needs to be perfectly optimized or you need to make the perfect decision for yourself and procrastinating, reframe it to that you are making progress towards financial independence. Focusing on progress over perfection will help you get there and help you enjoy the journey a lot easier as well. And finally, this last strategy that you can implement is so important to help you reach your goals, and that is to seek accountability as well as support. Sharing your goals with your spouse, your friend, your financial coach, if you work with one, can really help encourage and support you and not get bogged down with perfectionism and procrastination. If you are interested in a community for PAs that are working on reaching financial independence and becoming PA millionaires and are interested in working with a wealth coach, feel free to reach out to me and I will share more information and connect you so you can learn more about this as well. Having a community of like-minded PAs is really awesome to see them all celebrating each other's wins and supporting each other for reaching their goals. If you know a friend, a colleague, a spouse who is struggling with perfectionism or procrastination on their journey to financial independence, feel free to share this episode. And if you found the information helpful, it'd be awesome if you left a review, whether you listen to this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any other platform that you prefer. Thanks for taking a listen, and I will meet you back here soon. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you decide to continue to join me along this journey of becoming a PA the FI way. Please take a moment to press the subscribe button on the platform that you are listening to this on, but more importantly, consider sharing with another current or future PA that could benefit from the information that we reviewed in this episode. Take care and have a great rest of your day. Until next time.